Hello everyone, this is the first in a series of Excel how-to videos that I'll be doing. This one really goes by the basics, mostly with formatting. And as you can see, Excel is a giant table. It has multiple pages, that's why they call it a workbook, and each page is a worksheet. And I can make more worksheets by clicking on this little button. I can rename or delete worksheets by right-clicking. I'm going to call this marking period 1 data. And I can then go and manipulate it as I want to get these values in. You can copy and paste from the Gates data worksheet. You can copy and paste from your class list in iPass, or you can just type them in. I can click on any cell to manipulate it. I can click and drag to highlight multiple cells. The rows have numbers, and I can click on those numbers or click and drag over multiple numbers to highlight multiple rows. Same thing with the columns. I can click on the letter labels to highlight a whole column, or I can click and drag to highlight multiple columns. If I wanted to highlight the entire spreadsheet, I would come click in the top left corner here. And this would come in handy. Let's say I wanted to color the entire spreadsheet. I can put a border on the entire spreadsheet, can make it bold, I can italicize, I can make the whole thing money or date, time, percent, what have you. I don't want to do any of those things, so I'm just going to Control Z to get it looking the way I want it to. But let's say I wanted to make this column money. I can come and click on currency. If I wanted to, I can make it euros or other things. I can change the decimal points to have more or less decimal points. This isn't money, but I'm going to leave it this way because I want to show you something with it later. These left-hand ribbon keys are pretty much so images, shortcuts, the same as Word or PowerPoint. On the right, these are the ones that are more specialized for Excel. Across the top I have insert, and some of these are the same, some of them aren't. Can make it from portrait to landscape. I can change my margins. Here's where I can put grid lines if I want them to print. I can print the headings, like if I wanted to keep these row headings. Can do different grouping. I have all my formulas here, which we'll go into in a later video. Some other fancy data options. Spell checker, all that fun stuff. And I can do some special things, like let's say I wanted to wrap the text. In this column, in these columns, I only have a single-digit number, but the title is making this be wider than I want. So if I come over to row 1 and I get this double-sided arrow, I can click and drag and make that taller. And then I can highlight the whole row by clicking on the number and come up to wrap text. Now I can go and either by highlighting everything and dragging, or just moving in between for this double-sided arrow, I can get it so the text is now wrapped and takes up 2 rows instead of 1. Notice I have these number signs here, the pound signs, hashtags if you're modern. If I look at my formula bar up the top, I can see that that is the number 2. But when this was smaller, it wouldn't let me see it because it wants me to know it's not going to truncate it in case it's 43 million instead of 43 or 430. And I can just drag that because I made it money so I can read the entire number. If I want to, I can go back and make it not money anymore by changing up here to number. I can get rid of my decimal points so it looks back the way I want it to. And now that all matches. I can also insert a row By right-clicking and going to Insert, I can delete rows that same way. And let's give this a category, marking period, a title, I'm sorry, 1. But it's the title for all of these columns. So I'm going to merge and center. And I'm going to make that a little bigger. I'm going to vertically center it using this button. I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. I can also change it to an actual number. And I can also make it a color if I want to be particularly jazzy. And that is all I really wanted to show you for formatting. Thank you, and I hope you watch my other videos.